680's Richard Southern joins us. Richard, a shocker from Aeroplan. The points program signs on with Porter Airlines after rejecting Air Canada's takeover bid. You're looking at market reaction and what travelers should do.
Yeah, you know, investors, Christina, surprised because Aeroplan really needs Air Canada, and Air Canada, we found out, sweetened its financial offer for the company, $325 million, but Aeroplan said, nope, we want $450 million instead. So on and on this goes. I want to get right to one of the top points experts in the world. I'm just off the phone with Ben Schlappig. He's flown 4 million miles in his life, almost all of them on points, and he says you can take it to the bank. Air Canada will still eventually end up buying Aeroplan.
I absolutely do think Air Canada will be victorious here, and I think at this point they're just haggling over price. It's quite a price difference they're coming from, but I definitely think this is bound to happen.
As it stands now, with no agreement with Air Canada, what should I do with my Aeroplan miles? Should I spend them before 2020? What do you think, Ben?
Yes, so my philosophy across the board with miles is always earn them and burn them, because over time miles devalue, they become worth less. Airlines tend to devalue award charts. I would certainly take what we have now and what we know is the case over what is, regardless, an uncertain future, regardless of whether Air Canada takes over the program or whether Aeroplan's independent, what the program would look like in a couple of years. So I would highly recommend redeeming now if you have the option.
So, Christina, he says, yeah, spend it while you can. And investors, they were enthused by all of this because it looks like Aimia and Aeroplan, it looks like they're trying to get a better price. And as a result, stock in Aeroplan up a whopping 8% today.
And the lesson learned here, time to go on a points trip. Another interesting story, though, coming out of the aviation industry. A budget airline is flying the world's largest jet, and passengers can get a taste of luxury at a small price.
I love this. So this is passengers out of the UK and out of New York who have paid only $200 to cross the Atlantic could find themselves on this, the A380, double-decker A380. They could even find themselves, Christina, in a luxury first-class seat like this one. This is because this particular plane was leased from Singapore Airlines. Singapore had these suites with double-decker beds that they were selling for $30,000. But now Norwegian, the budget carrier, is going to fly this between New York and London. And you could find yourself in one of those seats for $200, $300, $400. It's quite the story, quite the steal. Might even be worth the likes of us here in Toronto maybe going down to New York to try and get a ticket on this. It's going to fly daily, again, between New York and London.
That actually looks like a very good deal, something definitely worth looking into.
You know what's interesting? Even though you're going to have the double beds, the catering, the onboard service is going to be the budget Norwegian. So you could be in one of those suites, but be eating a sandwich out of a cardboard box. It's quite the story.
Can't get away from those peanuts and
no.
Bad airline food. It's venti cappuccino-sized news. Starbucks plans to accept Bitcoin.
Yeah, in a way they are. So Starbucks teaming up with Microsoft and an international Bitcoin exchange called Backit. It's going to allow customers to go and buy your Frappuccino and your coffee using a Bitcoin. But at the point of sale, Christina, it's going to be transferred into Canadian dollars or into U.S. dollars. So in the end, Starbucks won't be holding any Bitcoin. And the reason they don't want to do that is because it's super volatile. It's down 50% this year. It swings like a couple $100 every day. So that's why retailers don't want to hold it. But the fact that they're getting into this lends a lot of credibility to Bitcoin. It's becoming more mainstream now.
Definitely, except I'm still using cash and change.
You are really old school.
I am. New numbers show Toronto home sales surged in July.
Yeah, this is a big number. Sales up 18.6% in July from July a year ago. We haven't seen a year-on-year move like that in a while. The average selling price last month topping $824,000. Average detached selling price at a little above $1.3 million. A lot of people, we think, on the sidelines for the past year amid the new mortgage rules. They are now coming off the sidelines, nibbling away at the market, and the Toronto real estate sector heating up along with the weather this summer.
So the long weekend is here, which means maybe a few drinks are in order. Going into the bar can be expensive, though. It turns out you've got some tips on how to keep that tab in check.
I do. You don't want to spend too much at the bar. You'll get in trouble. First off, I think you're already on this, Christina. Pay with cash, they say. Pay with cash for every drink. And you know that when you pay with cash for anything, easier to keep track of what you're spending, right? Don't keep an open bar tab. You end up with that big bill at the end of the night. pay per drink, and you'll keep a better tab on what you're doing. Drink beer on tap. It's often the cheapest drink in the bar. Buy in bulk, that is to say pitchers, bottles of wine. It always ends up being a little bit cheaper per glass than doing it sort of an a la carte basis. Eat before you go out. Fill up on carbs, and you won't want as much booze. That's true, too, if you're going grocery shopping, by the way. You save money that way. And drink water in between drinks. Slows you down, fills you up, and keeps the hangover at bay. And if you see me and Christina at the bar, you buy us a drink, too.
I like that. That's definitely some news you could use. Where are the prices of gas going for the long weekend, Richard?
What do you think? I'll give you one guess. We're going up. Just a penny, though, Christina. That'll bring us to $1.35.9 a liter. We actually went down 2 cents this morning. So up a penny tonight, and that's a price that will probably hold into next Tuesday. Christina, hope you have a great weekend.
Thanks, Richard. You too. And now it's over to Brandon Rowe on the Danforth.